Nation's Prince Harry is leaving the luxury of Montecito and heading back to Old Blighty next month on the eve of the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death. The Duke of Sussex will deliver a speech at the WellChild Awards in London before flying off to Düsseldorf for the Invictus Games. It'll be the first time Harry has set foot on British soil since being kicked out of Frogmore Cottage, meaning he might have to ask Daddy for a room at Windsor Castle or maybe pitch up at a travel lodge in Slough. Charles, who will be up at Balmoral, is not expected to see his younger son, and William will be busy marking the anniversary of his grandmother's passing. So will it be a case of poor old Harry no mates? I think, you know, on just a basic human level, I find it quite sad that, I'd like to think in years when my kids are grown up, if they pitch up in a country that I happen to be in, the idea, and I'm literally just up the road, 2 hours away max, by private jet, the idea that I wouldn't see them, having not seen them for God knows how long, would be terrible. So whatever has gone wrong...
Depends on whether they write a book about saying you have...
Well, I was about to say, the trouble is, this Harry character is, he hasn't covered himself in glory.
No.
Because, as you say, he's written a book and Lord knows what he's all about, and he's going out with that, I can't remember her name now.
Meghan Markle.
Melanie? Melanie
very
Markle.
good.
He's going out with Melanie, and it's all a bit kind of dysfunctional. He lives with some chickens and some dogs in a mountainside. It's
And
just all a
food.
bit weird. Seeing a psychic, he's sprayed his hair on, and so he's slightly losing. If ever there was a time he wanted his old man, or his dad would want to say, "Come, my son, I can see time has not been kind."
We should also remember that when he was here, when the Queen died, actually there was no plan in their agenda, that particular visit, to visit the Queen, who was in Balmoral. They weren't going to go. The only reason he went there was because obviously she became very ill, and he was asked to go and see her before she died, which he didn't make, maybe through no fault of his own. But he was in the country, and he wasn't planning to see his own grandmother.
Well,
and I remember making the point at the time, well, that's the true case, isn't it?
No, it's
it
not.
is true.
No, it's
because
not.
he didn't have it in his plan to go and see her, right? And it's like me going to see my sister in Manhattan and not going to see my mother in Connecticut. That's what it was like.
So he had arranged to reach out to the Queen to meet her, and the Queen had said yes, and then she'd come back minutes later and said, actually, I'm unavailable. That's what had happened. And with you, Collins, your kids hate you, so they definitely won't be seeing you when you're older. Harry is living a completely normal life.
You've just made that
for
up.
himself in Montecito.
With his chicken
Lovely
feed.
house. But a few farm animals, he's relaxed and zen. But because we're British and we like to be miserable, right, that's a bit weird. He's over there being happy with his wife.
Looks
Why
really
doesn't
happy,
come and
doesn't
see
he?
his dad. He
So
does look
happy,
happy.
doesn't
He does look happy.
I don't think it's weird. I do think it's sad. And it is sad because ultimately family is very important. And I think it's unfortunate that if he's in the UK for only a day, it doesn't harm anything for him to at least see his aging father, if not William.
Can't come for 4 days. Then what is this thing that people like that do? He's only here for a day. Come for a week, you weirdo.
You can only get
come for a bloody week.
And stay where?
I'm coming for 27 hours.
Where's he going to stay if he comes?
No, he can only, no, seriously, he'd only get 1 day off from the impact officer's job.
Well, yes, exactly.
They said, no, we can't spare you for more than a day. Because, I mean, what's going to happen to the other people that we fired? No, we've already fired them.
How much is the salary there? 1.5 million?
Over £1 million.
I mean, it's
How
just
He gets only
ludicrous.
1 day's holiday.
How
You're
do you
in the
know?
wrong business.
How do you know that Charles isn't just busy? He may have reached out to Charles, and Charles has said, actually, I've got a load of events on.
That's the official line, because Charles has got his delayed official visits to France, which, remember, last time he was meant to be going, and then there were all the riots, so he had to cancel it at the last minute, and that was meant to be his first trip abroad. He had to go to Germany. So this is now happening at the same time. So the line has come out from the palace, he's far too busy preparing for his French trip. But it doesn't actually cross over with the French trip. It's like a couple of days before. And Esther's right.
Stop saying that.
I mean, listen.
Stop saying that.
Sorry.
You need to
Sorry.
Wash
Wash my mouth out. Wash my mouth out. But this is a man who's lost his mother and has now lost his father.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly sad,
You know what,
no matter
though?
how you look at it.
It won't be long down the line when people will look back at this conversation about how weird it is. The king was unable to... The palace said... It's like a bloody fairy tale. The prince made his way over the water on an aeroplane. It's just
That's why it sells
really...
newspapers, Ian.
I
Because
know,
it's like a fairy tale.
It's a dream.
It's like...
Fine, but listen, let's just all agree to stop saying that Esther's correct.
Okay.
No, I think
Fair point.
I
Can
think
we put her in the county jail?
No, I
Very fair point.